Hey folks, thank you for joining us for another exciting episode of Yoml. This is the Year of Magical Learning podcast. Today we are doing Reflection 235, and it's about a book that it's unknown to me, so I guess I'll let Chris introduce it. Taking a break from one of installments of the top five books. So here we
Right.
go.
Yeah, this was one of those books I finished in between when I was writing. So I mean I was writing those top five reflections. Like, I'd finish a book and then I'd go back to write the reflections until I finished another book. And then I would write that reflection, then I would go back and so it's like scattered through the next little section of this book as I was working through
Yeah,
the last kind of top five reflections. But
add
this
some
one
spices into the mix, right?
exactly because it's always learning and always reading, right? And getting new ideas. So this particular book was kind of interesting. I don't even know how I came across it. I honestly can't remember. It was called Amusing Ourselves to Death: Public Discourse in the Age of Show Business by Neil Postman. And this book was written in 1985, and it was like about um, a deep dive into the effects of television on our politics and public discourse. And specifically around the role of like television and the internet and things like that were starting to come around, and cell phones, and like that's
Mhm.
all newer stuff. But this was mainly focused around like television, honestly. And it was called Amusing Ourselves to Death. It was interesting. It was really interesting. So I I guess this Neil Postman guy is pretty famous. I don't know. I don't know
Really?
who he. Yeah, I mean, I think this book is kind of famous, um, like in a non-traditional famous kind of way. I think because it was the public discourse that it sparked around the concepts that it talked about in it. And yeah, it was. I mean, it wasn't long. Talked a lot about the power of books, and we've talked about the power of books before, and why the written word is so much more powerful than a lot of times than television and the spoken word, and in terms of shaping the narrative, and then having how you consume it. Like video is so fast, and it's only getting faster. I mean, it's like now we consume TikTok videos in like 10 seconds or less, right? And it's like next video, next video, next video, next video. And I mean that's just how the world is today. But like even when he wrote this, it was 1985. I was kind of blown away because like as I started off this, I was like, holy shit, like this was written in 1985 about television. Like it's only escalated. Like it felt like he was writing the book in 2022, because it's like, I mean, we are literally amusing ourselves to death at this point in time. I mean, and that's what this made me spark the thought of I'm done with the news. So I it's just, I mean, I'll be the first to admit it, man. Like I'm an addict to my phone. Like it goes everywhere that I go. I've done multiple monthly challenges on keeping it away from me, and setting limits on it, and whatever. But like, I mean, I can't remember the last time that I was separated from my phone for a long period of time. The only times these days that I can think of that I'm never near my phone is when I'm playing tennis. And it's just in my bag, and I don't think about it. It could be on another island for all I care. It's not that I'm thinking about my phone. I just don't know where I don't really care where it is. I don't see it. I don't look at it. I don't have any desire to even have it in my orbit. But uh I am definitely, I don't know about you, like, would you call yourself a phone addict? Is it always near you? Like, and like, when was the last time you weren't around yours?
I mean, I always have my phone with me, but I wouldn't call myself a phone addict because I don't have to have it. But
Yeah.
like for me, it's like, and for me, it's like it's not like something that is going to enslave me. And
Right.
that's the thing is, we would say, hey, you should go stay away from the phone, and my question is why?
No,
Because
no,
the
I
thing
don't
is,
think I don't think you should stay away from the phone. Like I like, so like, here, let me finish the reflection. Like I'm not saying the phone's bad. Like if anything, like, I love it because I get to do listen to my audiobooks. I take notes on
Mhm.
it. It's what you do on your phone, obviously. So for me, like I said, this is all about distraction, though, right? This is all about, like, we talked about this with Bob
Yeah,
Goff's
it's
book.
about
Um,
utility. or
Right.
versus entertainment, or
Exactly.
get like passing the time. It to me it's a lot of times like if you are so bored with your life that you need to be on your phone to be occupied, then this is the problem. Because thing is, I
Yeah.
don't do shit, right? If you look at my life is like as boring, as monotonous as like that. Probably the most in most households, right?
Right.
My wife say I'm boring. My kids say I'm boring. I don't do anything. I don't go anywhere. But I don't have any games on my phone. I don't do anything on my phone other than like, okay,
Right.
I have like I don't know. I have like 10 different alarms so that I can, pick up my kids or whatever. So I don't have to think about it. I don't want to remember it. So it's basically my assistant. But at the
Yeah.
same time, I don't need my assistant. I just say, well, I should have it if there is there is, it's there, right? Just like for people in the medieval age, right? Everybody carries a sword, right? Doesn't mean you're using it, but it's a utility. It's a
Right.
tool. It's a tool for you to use. It's not your master that hey, you are supposed to pay your attention to it.
Right.
It pays attention to me. So to me, that's what I'm saying is, I don't see. I mean, for me, when I see a lot of people like the big names like Mark Minenhoff or whatever go on vacation and then I taking his phone, that's stupid. I mean, I don't care how much money he makes. That is stupid decision in that own right. Because
Right.
the thing is, I don't care, right? It is up to you. If someone calls you, it is up to you to pick it up. It
Right.
is for your convenience, and that's for convenient, like caller. So when people call me, right? If I want to talk to you, I'll pick up. If I don't, you have to wait. I
Yep.
don't effing care. So to me, the phone isn't gonna drive me. I don't pick up the phone. I don't run for the phone. I don't run for a train, nor I run for the phone. Right? It is for my convenience, and I think if you can put it that way, I think the perspective makes a whole lot of difference.
Yeah.
There are a lot of things I'm struggle with, right? And then there's a lot of things I just don't struggle with. It's because I have come to understand or see how it is supposed to interact with it, right? And the other things that I'm struggling with, I could not understand it yet. So I'm struggling because it's about indecision, just like the
Right.
marshmallow test, right? Indecisions, it makes you miserable. So for me, it's like the phone. I have it all the time because it's my assistant, but I don't need to have it. You can ask for my phone and I'll give to you. There's nothing on it.
Right. Yeah. No. No. I mean that, and that's totally fair. I mean, I'm not, I'm not going to say that I'm like, a slave to my phone, but at the same
I
time,
have
like
Facebook on my phone because my wife forces me to have it on there.
nice.
I have
Well,
Facebook account because my sister made it for me back in 2000 and like 2000 something, 2005, 2006, something like that. And she
yeah.
made it for me, and it's still there. I mean, I made a Twitter account a long, long time ago. I don't even know how to access it. I mean, it's just because I was trying to see if I can get some vanity URL, whatever, just because it's there. Um,
Right.
but like I say, I mean, I don't I don't enjoy getting on the phone for these reasons. A lot of times I go on Facebook and I find myself like, either uh because whatever how I don't know why, but whenever I go on Facebook, it makes me feel bad.
Yeah. Well, now these days, whenever you get on Facebook, it's just filled with ads. Like, I mean, you can hardly, like, I actually like it was like 3 weeks ago. I barely ever get on Facebook these days. Like regularly because I accidentally hid the app on my phone. And for like my generation, we grew up with Facebook. Like literally, I think Mark Zuckerberg's the exact same age as me, and it was invented when I was in college. Like we were the test dummies, for Facebook. I think we were the school that I went to was one of like the first like 10 schools that it expanded to outside of Harvard kind of thing. And
Hmm.
like I mean we used it and we used it for the utility that it was originally built for, and and it was a part of our digital world quickly for everybody in my generation or my like age group. So like it was a way for us to all stay connected and everything. Long, I've always found value in Facebook, honestly. Like, I get to
Right,
stay
right. But
connected with friends'
but I
lives
do
and
agree though. I mean, it has its value, its utility, but it also has its addictions. And
oh
I
yeah,
think
for
the
sure.
addiction
Yeah.
comes from when
It gets
you don't have the, who I am kind of identity.
Well,
This
yeah.
is
Here,
what.
let me finish the reflection first, so we can talk about it because it's like because that's kind of what it is, right? Like that's what I was gonna say is these days, like while I may have like certainly my shortcomings around how I leverage this tool and I have my little round that I go through of the CNN, Fox News. I watch them both like on television, and I'll ESPN, Yahoo News, and like my Purdue fan rival site. Those are probably the only the websites that I ever go to, right? And it's really just my Purdue fan blog website, ESPN, and Yahoo News are like probably the only really websites that I go to. For like social media, it's like Facebook, and I don't do Instagram or anything like that. I rarely get on TikTok, but it's really probably Facebook and sometimes those Facebook Reels that are kind of also the same thing as TikTok Reels. Anyway, so like if I'm not doing living for two activities, like chances are, and I'm not doing anything else, chances are that I probably have my phone in my hand and I'm either on Yahoo News, ESPN, my Purdue fan blog,
You're paying your dues.
or I'm paying my dues, right? But the good but the good news is I these days my time is so much of my time is spent on my purpose and living for two activities that I don't feel like this is a black hole for me necessarily, versus like maybe earlier before I met Amelia in my life, because I like any downtime, like you were saying, like I would find myself doing this kind of stuff, right? But now it's like I have such little downtime that I'm kind of just like, what, like I'll just go indulge a little bit, but it definitely is an addiction. But here's the thing that troubles me the most. It's like talk about public discourse, and how this stuff shapes it. Like, I mean, even stupid shit like I find myself scroll every time on Yahoo when I'm on there, Yahoo News, which is like, a couple times a day or something like that when I get bored or whatever, and I, hit Yahoo on my browser on my phone. Like there's always some stupid article about Kim Kardashian or Khloe Kardashian or Kendall or Kylie, and they know it. Like their algorithms know it. Like I don't watch the show. I watched the show like, maybe back in like 2010 or something like that.
What
Like
show?
keeping up with the Kardashians, like
Oh, it's a
15,
show.
yeah, that was what I mean. That was how they all got famous. Was
Oh,
well,
okay. I thought they
partially.
got famous because of OJ.
Well, their dad was a trial lawyer for OJ,
Right.
and he
That's
passed
what I
away.
thought.
No, he passed away, and then the mom married. Do you know who Bruce Jenner is now? Caitlyn Jenner. You know who that is?
Don't
Bruce
need to
Jenner
know.
is like a former Olympic gold medal triathlete from the 70s. He was
Oh,
like a
really?
major like heartthrob kind of person, and Robert Kardashian, the guy that was OJ's lawyer, his ex-wife married Bruce Jenner, who is now a transgender woman who's named Caitlyn Jenner. And then they had like their families were like a blended family that came together, and then they had two other kids themselves. So anyway, they have this big mismatched family that all came together. And then Kim Kardashian got. What am I talking about this for?
I'm
What
talking
the
about
fuck's
a
he talking?
history of something that
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
I know, and this is my point. So my so like even shit like this,
What's your point?
they
Get
just
out. Get out.
they just know how to like get your attention on these things. Anyway, so but after reading this particular book, this was the thing that made me feel most sad about this stuff is whenever I find myself doing those things, now I start to think about like what could I be doing living for two, or what could I be doing for meaningful work with stuff that we're trying to do for Clubany, or what could I be doing differently that has nothing to do with this completely mind-numbing bullshit of seeing my friends birthday parties that they put on for their kids that I didn't go to, or their latest trip or whatever on Facebook, or Kim Kardashian like got a Botox injection or something like that. Like why the fuck do I give a shit about any of those things? To be honest with you, all it does is just take me away from the things that really matter to me, and that's what probably bothers me the most. And how it shapes like how we all interact with each other. It really drives me crazy, and it really takes away your own control for your own life. So after reading this book, I was like, that's it. I was like, I'm done with the news. That was the title, and I used my monthly challenge immediately for that was coming up after this ended to try to limit myself to 10 minutes a day, like of news. Like, I was like, I don't want, like, so whether it was social media, TV, internet, whatever. I was like, I'm getting 10 minutes of the news because it's nothing but bullshit every single time that I go on there. Like, it never, ever, ever makes me feel better. It always just is like mind numbing. But somehow I find myself in these rabbit holes of like, clicking on the next clickbait article that's like, that I learned absolutely nothing from, that applies to nothing with my life. So I did that. Gosh, that was a while ago. This is back in the summertime, and it was actually pretty fucking hard. Like I would put a timer on my phone, and I would be like from like 8 to 8:10, like that's what I get today, to like, So then it was like speed. It was kind of funny actually. I was like speed demoning through it. I was like, okay, Yahoo done, done. Okay, ESPN done. Okay, my Purdue blog done. Facebook shoot done. And I'm like, I mean, like it was really kind of funny because then the alarm would go off, and I'm like, oh. Like it was kind of funny actually.
I think you're just torturing yourself.
But
trying to consume all the I guess the
pop culture, the public discourse, but it was interesting it was funny. So actually I think I might try this again, maybe next month, and to do like a full on, like, no social media at all other than like LinkedIn, because I kind of have to be on LinkedIn for like work stuff. But like beyond that, like I was thinking about maybe revising this again. Anyway, so that's that. Now we can talk about, whatever we're going to talk about with when it comes to, amusing ourselves to death and how toxic the news is, and whatever else you want to talk about. That's fine now. But yeah, so the moral of the story was, this shit takes you away from your purpose. And what takes me away from my purpose now angers me. Like, I mean, it really pisses me off. It just makes me think about all the things that I could be doing. So like this stuff's got to go. I don't want it. I don't want it in my life, and it's got to go. Yeah.
I mean, it's, for whatever reason, these spurts of like news. I mean, I think we as human beings are wired for changes and for news. That's why news, like you in the African Sahara Desert, when you so you see a rustling bush, or you hear something rustling, right? You pay attention because it's news. Like, and news is wired into our brains, and these things become something that I guess people take advantage of.
For sure.
Because for me, it's like
these tech companies literally have clinical, like, psychologists trained on their staff to, like, to figure out how to maximize dopamine intake, for their never-ending scroll feeds, and
it's like
auto refresh, and
it's like the what you call, like the most of the I get the food we have today, it has a lot of calories but empty nutrients. It's empty.
Right.
So it's the media today is a similar way. It gets you to be interested, but there's nothing substantial in it. And so you get nothing out of it. Nothing out of it.
Like less than nothing. You get less than nothing. You get negative. Like,
Yeah, but like I said, most of the thing for me, it's you're getting pissed.
Yeah. I mean, I get infuriated whenever you go on, like, you go watch CNN for 5 minutes, and it's like the world.
I don't really watch CNN. I'm fanatic for football, right?
Right.
I'm like, for whatever reason, I immerse myself in it, and that just makes me feel positive in a way. So I love the Texans, and this year the Texans has a number 12, a number 2, and number 12 picks, right?
Right.
And every time I open up my Edge browser, it is this this Edge browser has a bunch of news on it, and it would say Texans, want to draft, Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, or
and you click on it.
I mean, it's like and it's like you click on these things, and it's a bunch of like, oh, should they do this? Should they do it? But it's just a bunch of clickbaits. It's nothing in it. I mean, that's not. It's like, oh, they say, they will trade for this, or we get DeAndre Hopkins back, blah blah. Like, you click on it, it just maybe like a short paragraph. I'll say, maybe they should do that, or perhaps. So it's like, well, it's up in the air. It's potentially anyone. So there's nothing in the article. The article is like less than like a paragraph long, And this is what they call the mainstream news. It's not even like the TikTok and these
Right.
are called like professional, and they're fucking clickbaits all over the place.
Do
There's
you
nothing
remember?
on there that is not clickbait. Even the news from the Texans, in the Texans website, it's
Right.
some of them are clickbait too. It's like, look, you don't make money from clickbait. You make money from playing football and selling merchandise. So sell the fucking merchandise. I'll buy the merchandise.
Right.
Just give me like, okay, we have this plan and we're gonna draft, and we build organizations and whatever. So I'm passionate about football, but the thing is, these things is just driving me like angry. It's like,
Right.
what the hell?
And it takes you away from other stuff you actually want to do that aligns to your life. Like it's
I mean, the thing is, I think that football aligns with my life, and I would willing to pay attention and money and other resources into football because it gives me the
yeah.
euphoria of feelings, right? So for me, football is something that I'm really interested in. But even for that, the media is actually causing me to be discouraged, even about
100%.
reading them. So the only thing I do nowadays, I actually just watch the games. I don't watch anything else. I don't watch any commentary either because even the live video commentaries are a bunch of clickbaits and a bunch of professional psychological
Analysts.
puppet handlers.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I mean that's all they do. It's just to try to grab your attention, whether it's on a piece of media, or it's on Facebook or on TV themselves. Even in the I mean that's like the commonplace now. And to me,
Right.
that's just sad. And if you are completely lost, how do you tell something that is going to eating away your life, your time and resources versus something that's important to you? How would you distinguish that?
You
You and
can't.
I had so much
They're the
training
same.
so far, and
Well,
even then, you and I get sucked into some of these sometimes.
it's if anything, you start to think that these are important things. You start to argue with your friends at the dinner table about Donald Trump versus Hillary Clinton versus whatever. Who gives a fuck? Like honestly, I don't give a shit who our president is.
And
Has it ever changed
most of
anybody?
them are like the thing is even so even beyond the arguing, right? Most of them are just made up.
It is.
No one has a
It's all
fucking
smoke
clue
and
what's
mirrors.
going
Like
on.
right,
Somebody just say something about somebody accuse somebody of
right.
something, and that's what you're talking about. And you take
It's just
sides. Oh, he did that or she did that. Well, that's a lot of hearsay, even though it may have
it's
some
just
some
tribalism for
coincidence, but
tribalism's sake.
it's just hearsay. There's no proof in it yet, so you cannot do that. But that's what people do. They take side and they're willing to go and fight people for it. They're willing to go and go march on people's houses
Yeah. I
and
mean,
and like you're talking about family members, like they're talking about like the whole
people hate each other. I mean,
people
there's like
in the family, like a cousin will hate a brother will hate
right.
aunt, and I mean
I
people
have so many
stop
friends.
talking to
Yes,
each other for this from within their own fucking family.
there's people that divorce each other over like crap like this. Where you're like, I can't believe like you let like this kind of crap distract you from the things that really matter to your life. And I mean, and to be crystal clear, like I'm not blaming anybody. Like it is hard to, like you just said, we do this stuff every single day, and we understand what we want to try to do, and we struggle with it. Everybody struggles with it. I mean, it's there for a reason. It was designed to do this exact stuff. But like this is so there's two things that come to mind about this book that I really liked. It's just another reason why Nassim Taleb talks about this stuff all the time about ancient wisdom, right? The things that are old, like anchor down on that. Books are fucking old. Like there's something about the consumption of a book that is so radically different than any other form of media that we have, because it's long form, right? I mean, you have to take the time to digest it and to listen and to immerse yourself in that person's thoughts and to really build a relationship almost through the words. And if you're writing it, you have to craft those words and always be impeccable with your words. So like that's and nobody, there's no ads or anything like that. There's no you're paid for it, you own it. Like when you decide to purchase a book or something like that, like there's no free give to get. It's like, hey, look, I want to listen to you, I'm going to spend my time with you, I'm going to pay for that, right? And I'm going to acquire that knowledge, and I'm going to go then sit in a chair and listen to it because I want to listen to it, or not. like if I decide I don't want to read it, I'm just gonna turn it off. It's not like it's gonna pop up and shove it in my face like it's a magical book. It's like read page 3, and you're gonna be oh fine, like if you don't like it, just put it down, like and
Page
like it's
5, page
right.
6.
Like I mean, it's not like some app ding that's gonna go on your phone or whatever or something else. It's like, hey, come back. I know you didn't like the last round, but like let's try it again. We'll change for you. We'll change the book here. You know what I mean? Like it is what it is. Like I mean, so like we can, if you want to, we can talk about that because I think that's pretty fascinating. Honestly, it's like what's always worked is written and spoken word, right? But like television and now social media has just changed the game completely in terms of how we consume media, and it's disgusting, like what it's doing to us, because it's like it's triggering it knows they know our elephant better than we know our elephants,
Yeah,
and
I
it's
mean,
like
they study
right.
psychology, and they use psychological tricks on us all the time. Not just the ones like they use all of the arsenal
Yeah,
in that to make you into a puppet. You basically are a zombie. You do what they
you're
want you to
doing
do.
what they want.
You
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
vote.
right,
You vote however they want you to vote.
right.
You will fight for whatever they want you to fight. You will die for whatever they want you to die for. You will pay taxes, whatever, into whatever they want you to pay. This is the power. That's why Facebook is coveted by a lot of organizations and a lot of government entities. That's
Yeah,
why these social media that has a huge potential. That's why they attempt to ban TikToks because
it's
well, I can't control TikTok. I'm not gonna let someone else control my thing, right?
it's
So that's the
Jesus,
thing
yeah,
is we
it's
are
a
being
shit show.
controlled and we don't know. We don't know it, and that's
Well, I think we do know it, but we don't know how to stop it. Like,
well,
and
we in general don't know because if you think that I lied to you, right? But I never admitted to you. You say, well, even though you know for sure, but you don't know for sure. So the
yeah,
thing is, we say, well, Facebook is bad, but I don't know. Just like for me, it's I kind of know caffeine was bad for
mhm,
me in my late 20s, and that's what people told me. Caffeine was bad, and I tried to quit. It didn't work
right.
because I didn't really
Well, you
know.
didn't believe it. You didn't believe it is what you didn't
Yeah, so
because
it's so something.
I
That's
mean
what I'm
I've said
saying.
it. I've said it in the statement already. I was like, I don't think Facebook's that bad. So that's why I keep going back to
Exactly.
it.
That's what I'm saying is
If I thought it was
we
like
think
cigarette smoking, I
social
would stop
media
it.
is bad, even if we admit it some of the time.
Yeah.
But deep down, we're not really 100%
No, I
sure.
get value. Like I said, I get value out of it. I love
That's
seeing
why the thing is
my friends and family's lives.
we
Yeah.
don't know we're being played.
I agree. I mean, there's like a weird trade-off of we're gonna give you value.
It's called bait.
It is. Well, I mean, well,
Well,
it's
the thing is,
a
the
value.
mouse go to a trap because of the cheese. Well,
I mean,
that's
this
bait.
whole
And so you saying,
conversation.
hey, Facebook has some of the time it's useful, yeah, it's bait.
Right. I mean, this whole conversation is, that we've been having, this whole discourse we've been having this entire time is about, values and leveraging values. So like they definitely provide value. I mean, like Snapchat, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Yahoo News, ESPN. I mean, they go to great
Right.
lengths to
So
provide value,
this is what you call the. So the thing is, when you have a bait and it's bait and switch, right? That means you have to put out some initial amount of benefits
Right.
to grab somebody and to get the bigger the other trade. The trade off is much bigger. So the ratio isn't balanced, isn't equal. And so
Yeah.
this is particularly a bait, right? When you have bait, you have to provide the actual food on a mousetrap for the mouse to come. And
Right.
so if you don't have any value, so yeah, so you say, well,
Do you think they started these platforms because of that, like with that in mind, or do you think they started them because they truly wanted? I don't think they started Facebook because they I don't think they had any idea how they were going to monetize it when they first started Facebook. To be honest with you, maybe they did. I don't know, ads, but like, do you think that's like, I know that's what they do now. Like, I mean, there's no other industry in the world that calls their customers users other than like maybe the you know,
drugs.
fucking drugs user, like you're a
Drugs
drug
are
user,
users.
right. Yeah. Maybe
I
tobacco
mean,
users, or something like that. Like they're addicted. Like, I mean, they like no other industry calls their customers' users. Like what's your user acquisition cost? What's your user growth
I
rate,
mean, the thing
daily
is,
active
in
users?
before the
Like
advent of the internet, when you're talking about user acquisition costs, right? You mean the thing is,
like
people
it's like drugs.
will look at you like, hey, what kind of evil person are you? We're
Right? What are you
talking about
talking about?
user
Like
acquisition, and now it's like commonplace. Oh, user acquisition. Everybody's talking
yeah.
about user,
Yeah.
user, and everything is
What's my
about
daily
user.
active user metrics? Like is my daily active users growing or not? And
Yeah,
like
are they using more? Are they using more? Are they using
right,
less?
right.
We want them to use more. We want them to be addicted
I mean, I just
the platforms or app or company or whatever. I mean, people are trying to put up all this kind of like, you know, let's say you're like Coca-Cola or you're Nike or you're, you know, um, you know, uh, um,
we're about to say
you know,
Umbro.
huh?
Were you about to say Umbro?
Oh, bro, what was it? Under
Adidas?
Armour, Under Armour,
Oh.
Umbro. What is Umbro?
You don't remember Umbro? Umbro was I think Adidas bought them. They were
I
they were
remember. Yeah,
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 they were
yeah,
like
yeah,
soccer.
yeah.
They were like
Yeah.
soccer clothes, where they had the Umbros,
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think I had
yeah.
Umbro when I was
Yeah.
playing soccer in high school. I remember that short right there.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, so
There you
so
go.
like like this company, they have to compete to stay on top of the top awareness of the population. So
Right.
they're competing and they're putting like millions of dollars into having a social media presence and doing like video skits and this and that. And so completely everybody is trying to spiral us into out of our time and resources
Right.
because there's no other way to compete. And so nowadays, the with the Facebook. And so the thing is, um most people who does advertising on Facebook and whatever, right? Most of the people that actually gets click on your stuff aren't really the target users. They're probably like somebody who's watching some video or some whatever, and
Mm.
they just on there. And so it's just a massive waste of human attentions.
Well, that's the whole industry I'm in, is personalizing, like the digital ad experience and the, connected journeys, and making sure that they're getting relevant content at the relevant time to be able to, like to make sure that they're maximizing their attention with you. And I mean, that's the world that I work in. Like, I mean, like this is what I do every day. And it's fucking filthy.
I
Like,
mean,
I
the
mean,
thing is, you
it's
think about it, you are even worse than the what you call the drugs dealers.
drug dealers. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
because
you're worse than
because you
that
think that
because
you're doing good things. Like,
yeah, you. I mean, the thing is, you are in this. The thing is, drug costs money.
right.
Okay, but let me ask you, to me, according to me anyway, what do you think is the most precious commodity?
Attention,
Time.
time and
It's your
attention.
time.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, how much if you're like Steve Jobs and you're like super rich, how much would you say, well, I wish somebody give me a year? How much will you he willing to pay for that? And when you
Uh,
like get to the point where like my age, like that's why I don't do some of these things, because I get to the point where there's so many things I want to do, and I know I have less time than I think I expect to have. And
right.
then I don't actually do some of these things because that's my attention has shifted. But the thing is, to me, time, it is so valuable. It is so much valuable than anything that you ever. I like for me at when you get to the point like you be and you're almost there. I mean you're 30 something, you're almost there. But it gets to the point where at certain point in your life, at just certain phases of your life, you're gonna look at time and you're gonna say, well, my time is valuable. I ain't gonna give it away for free even for a minute. So if somebody asks
Yeah, no,
me,
I get
hey,
you.
can I have a minute? I say, well, is it
No.
worth it? Before
Right.
it's
Yeah.
like, okay,
What do you?
give me an hour. Okay, I'll give you an hour. I'll
Right.
give you for free, right? But now you ask me to give you a minute, give you 5 minutes. I say no, I don't have all the time, and I can't
Right.
get it back if I give it to you. And people always say, "How 5 minutes? What's gonna give you in 5 minutes?" Yeah, well, yeah.
Right.
I
Yeah,
mean,
no, I agree
they
with
don't
you.
look at it, but you think about it. I mean, go ask somebody who's 80 fucking years old and ask him, okay, is time valuable to him or her?
Of course. Yeah. I mean,
That's what
like
I'm saying is whenever you get to the point when you realize that time was so precious that you should not have wasted it in your younger years.
right. I mean, like that's kind of what I was getting at with this reflection is like I don't think that I'm wasting my time anymore, but I know that I know that hell, like the perfect example of this could be instead of, when I wake up in the morning, I have a bad habit of I jump on my phone. I immediately go what do I do first? I usually go check Yahoo, my Purdue blog, and my ESPN while I'm sitting there in my bed while I'm kind of just waking up, just like mindlessly scrolling. Then I turn on my Darren Daily video and I listen to my Darren Daily video. And then I go get ready for the day. Then I go upstairs and I write, and then I go read my other reflective, writing book, and then I write about that. But like I spend probably 15, 20 minutes just scrolling through, you know, sometimes I'll jump on it's like Facebook or something like that early in the morning if I'm just like sitting there just trying to wake up still or something like that. But like the first like 10 to 15 minutes of my day are spent that way. Like I mean, I think about like that's like one of my prime thinking times and most cherished times of the day. I often want to just get one of my challenges I did one month was
You overpay for something, right? Just
right,
like
yeah,
I say, hey, I have this cup here, and you give me $1 million for it, right? Basically, you're overpaying for it because, like you say, when you first wake up, that is your most optimal time when you are completely from that resting state, right? Your mind is so much,
yep,
I guess like um I guess they more sensitive in terms of the way they think is fluid.
right,
Your mind's are fluid at that moment, and so you can solve a lot of problems at that
right.
moment so easily. But you're wasting on something as as
I mean, I
not
hate it.
getting any value out of it.
I hate it. And the only reason that I find myself even on my phone is I have to go turn my alarm off, and then I grab my phone to turn my alarm off, and then I'm sitting there with my phone in my hand, and then I'm like, oh, well, I'm here. And it's like this magical little time warp that you just find yourself in. All of a sudden, you're like, oh, it's in my hand. Oh, I'm on it. Oh, there it goes. And then it's like 15 minutes later, I finally go, what am I doing? And I'm like, it's like this every day. It's like stop, just
Some
get up.
people
Like,
stay there for hours. I
I
mean,
know,
you're doing 15 minutes, you're doing really really good. Some people
but
spend
I'm
hours on them. I'm not talking about like 2 hours.
right.
I'm talking about like 4 hours, 6 hours, eight
Oh,
hours, like
all
nonstop,
day. Yeah.
right?
I mean,
If they didn't have to go to work, right, they would not get off of it.
do you know like they send you out like your usage data at the end of every month, kind of thing, and
Mm.
or every week or whatever, of like how much time you spend on certain things. I always think it's like, well, I'm on Audible at least like 2 to 3 hours a day. I feel like, I'm like, it's gotta be one of the top things that I'm doing. It's not even close. Like it's not like email, text
Yes.
message, social
Yeah.
media combined, times like, I mean, it's not like I'm on social media all the time or something like that, but like all of them maybe combined is like, oh, they all probably rank up there more. Slack, like Audible is like my fifth most used app, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's like
I mean, the
that's
thing is,
fine,
for Slack and for some emails, this is something that it's work related, and I think
right.
that's you can't help it, but you have to
Ah, but it's
use.
still an attention suck. I mean, do you know how many times I'm on on a run and oh my God, this is gonna drive me nuts. So like I have with my phone, Siri kicks in. I don't know how my settings set like this, but it's only for Slack. Everything else is turned off, like muted. Like I mute all notifications and stuff like that. But I always have like my earbuds or my like AirPods in or whatever when I'm running and I'm listening to an audiobook and Amelia and I are in cruise control, and then I hear this dun dun from Slack. True when is saying blah 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 blah, and I'm like, stop it!
It
I'm like
wasn't
yelling,
me.
like
It wasn't me. It
no,
wasn't
I
me.
know it's not you. It's one of like my
I would have
employees,
never do that.
my coworkers, and I'm like banging my ear. I'm like, stop it, turn up, and finally, like like I mean, it's been doing this for. I couldn't figure out how to finally turn it off. Finally, I figured it out like last week or something like that. But it's been like a year and a half of this where I'm like, fucking stop it. Like, like it's been ever since I've gotten this new phone. It's only when somebody slacks me and I'm like, and it just totally like I'll sometimes I'll even be like on a treadmill. Like, I try to run outside every day, but like if it's shitty weather and my phone's just sitting there, like I have to like literally turn if my phone's facing me like this, like on the
Hmm.
treadmill, like, up there, because I'm like, I don't know, listening to music, or I'm listening to an audiobook or whatever it may be, or like, whatever it is, right? And I'm just looking at I just have my phone there. Like, like 50 notifications will pop up on it while I'm in the middle of a run. And every single time it's like, God, like you can't even, it's just like a flash of light. And you're like, you naturally just go like this. And I'm like, eventually I chuck it across the room. And I'm like, I can't have you anywhere near me. I cannot focus. Like, it's like these things are fucking monsters,
We are trained for it. We are trained for that because, like, for example, if I text you, right, um, you want to respond because you are trained for that. I trained myself to be this complete jerk, right?
Right.
I don't give a shit.
Not
I
running for
respond
trainings,
to you.
Yeah.
I
Right.
respond to you what I
Right.
feel like I respond to you. And you know me. You text
Yeah.
me like I think you text me something. Like if I don't know what to say, I'm not gonna say anything, right?
Right. No, I know. Yeah.
You text me a lot of time, and if I say, "Well, I don't know what to say," so I don't say anything. Doesn't mean I didn't get it. And sometimes I reply, and sometimes I do because I say,
Right.
"Yeah,
Right.
something I have to say. I can say something, or I want to say, I say it, but sometimes I don't. Right? You know me.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
done that.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
said, to me, it's like to me, I think you do much better than most people because a lot of time people actually open up emails and they have these emails that I have to reply to.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It's a time suck and it's just a waste of
Oh,
time
I
and
don't even look at my
it
email anymore.
ruined the day.
I'm not even joking.
At least
I don't even
at
look at my
least when
email.
you look at Yahoo, right? There's nothing for you to respond to,
Right.
right? But if you look at the Slacks or the emails, like
Oh
okay,
man, it's so
people
tempting.
ask this. I mean, it's like they just went downhill like just a big gigantic drop. Like
It's once you start responding to messages, like actually I'm actually really proud of myself in this regard. Like I don't use email hardly at all anymore. Like unless it's like my personal email or something like that. If somebody at work emails me, I'm like, just send me a Slack message. I don't like because I don't want like I don't even look at my email anymore. Like I mean, it's literally maybe at the end of the day I'll go, oh, is there anything like super important on there? Like because if it's important, usually I just say
yes,
just send me a
Slack
Slack
or
message.
emails, I go,
Yeah,
I check it whenever I get my everything ready, right? I
right,
have my routine in the morning. Whenever I get to my desk and I sit down, right, and then I open the email, then I'll reply to you. I ain't gonna reply to you or
right,
anyone, regardless of what it is. If you have an emergency, right, text me, say, hey, emergency, then
right.
I'll probably text. But then it's like somebody would call me, like, and I won't just call me like 3 times. I'll pick it up the third time.
I was telling my team
Like
this
I can
actually.
be in the meeting and I would say, hey,
Yeah.
I have something important. I'm gonna pick it up. Just call me 3 times, but
I no,
I ain't pick it up.
I was just talking to my team about this actually the other day. I was like, people have been trained to not answer their phones. Anytime you see a number that you don't recognize, like all of us like have been trained, like, with phone scams and telemarketers and whatever, where you're like, oh God, I'm not answering that. But if you call twice, like I'll probably 90% of the time answer that. If you call right back to back twice in a row, like
Well,
would
you
you
have to
answer
call
it?
me back to back like 3 times in a row
Fair enough,
in
three
the
times. Yeah.
span of like
Right.
15 seconds.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. Like it's like double dial or triple dial like multiple times in a row, and finally somebody will be like, "Oh, this person, I don't know who this number is, but
I
this
mean, I
person
have
really
to
does
feel
want to
like
get in touch with me."
you're frantically trying to get to me. Then
Right,
I'll because the thing is,
right,
I was in a meeting today, and my sister-in-law was calling me. I didn't want to answer, so I just I just exit out. She
right.
called me again, and so okay, fine. You call me 3 times in 15 seconds. I'll pick up. She was at
Exactly.
my front door.
Oh, was see, this is exactly my point, right? Like, is like the other thing. So this all came up because we use this LinkedIn campaign tool automation tool called Duck Soup to like automate like connection requests and follow-ups that immediately follow up
Mhm.
afterwards. Well, Duck Soup started glitching one day when one of my employees was running a campaign on it, and it sent the same message that was supposed to be triggered after they connected 17 times in a row. Like, so it was it was 17 times, and it did this to like a lot of people that
Uh-huh.
she had that she had been like connecting with, and like it's supposed to be triggering just one message immediately afterwards, and it was just glitching, and a couple people responded to her, and I was like, you know what,
That's
You
no
should
approach.
you should probably just trigger it to trigger like on purpose, like
Um,
six different of the same messages, like immediately one after the other, after the other, after the other, and
and just get their attention to say you're
trigger a
sorry.
fourth one. The last one to say yes. The last one you should trigger your own automated message to say, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I don't know how the hell that just happened. I'm so sorry." Like like. But either way, it would be. I guarantee, like, I mean, like, we're all trained to, it's like we got to break the patterns, right? Like, in the patterns that we do all day
Yeah,
long
we are
are
all trained for that. That's what I'm saying is,
right.
if for social media or whatever, we are trained to reply. We are trained to pay attention to some of these things.
Right.
And if you don't have another set of training, you cannot distinguish between what you're being, I guess, brainwashed.
Yeah. What you think is
Um,
important and what's really important.
right.
Right.
Because looking at the news isn't important because it
No,
has nothing. It doesn't
it's the
give you
least
any.
important thing you can do. Sorry. Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, back in the days, like having news was important because you want to know, hey, oh, the city has changed some policy, and you need to watch out for this or watch out for that. That to give you something good
True.
to use. Hey, we need to um, conserve water. We need to recycle. We have this, whatever, right? Those are, newsworthy. But now it's a bunch of clickbait that talk about nothing. There's nothing in it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what it is. There's nothing in the news, and like 99.99% of them are completely trash.
It's total garbage. Like, and it's not even like it's not even like most of the time now it's just opinion. Like you watch,
And then
like,
then the thing is, one of the things that it gets me even more is that some of these articles allow for comments and discussion, regardless of what kind of news it is. Somebody's gonna have some nasty thing to say about, even though he didn't even read a fucking article,
yeah,
right?
oh
And
yeah,
he says something nasty about it, or somebody. It's like completely like brainless.
I gotta
Some comment are completely off topic of what the fuck does he come from?
I,
And then you get
I
these trolls that come in and we berate everybody. Not they don't talk about the article, but talk about the person who talking about the person who talking about the person, right?
right,
And then
right.
sometimes you have these advertise, like these what you call those, they go in and they will
The bots.
advertise their own
Oh yeah.
it's like, what the hell? And so it's not worth it. That's for me is every time I happen to stumble onto some of these things, I completely like get so fed up, and I just get mad and get out. That's what I'm saying
Right.
is I like the Texans, right? And I want to be able to know what they're doing, and I want to be happy if we can, they hired DeMarco Ryans as a coach from 49ers. So, I
Right.
said, well, yeah, this guy's pretty good. He's not an idiot like some other coaches that they've hired before. And at least they give these guys some kind of leeway to do some stuff. So maybe it's something positive and exciting. And I kind of trying to want to follow, but then it gets me to the point where I'm just completely mad. So might as well
Right.
just wait for the draft to come and then say, okay, just watch the draft. See
Right.
what
Just
who
see
they
what happens.
drafted.
Like, yeah, I mean, you're so
I
right. I mean,
think, yeah, I think I'd probably be better off getting news from Madden, the game, than to get it from the news outlet. Okay, I can just buy Madden, all of the stats and everything else is actually put into the game, and
right.
they come out right at the preseason, but right before preseason starts, and so I might just go with that route instead. Because I keep getting mad every time. The thing is, right now I'm using Edge, right, which is a browser, and that Edge has this homepage that's automatic setup already. I didn't want to bother changing the homepage, but
I don't
every
know
time the homepage comes,
what is Edge?
Edge is like Internet Explorer,
I've never heard of
right?
Edge.
They replaced Internet Explorer with Edge,
Oh. Oh, yeah.
right?
I've
And so
never heard of it. Yeah.
it comes with Windows 10 and Windows 11. I have Windows 11, and that's the one I'm using. But they have this I guess the homepage, whatever they have, it's a bunch of news with different things and advertisement all together. But I'm only interested in the sports, the Texans specifically. I don't care about other
I
ones, but that gets me to click on it, and then I get into this rabbit hole.
well, I was gonna show you, like, I got a confession to make. Like, I love the comments. Like, the comments are like my absolute favorite thing of all this stuff. Like, whenever you go on to Aaron Carter, like, and you're like, why the hell do I give a shit about Aaron Carter? And then wow, they must have just posted this article, or is it just lagging or something? Anyway, no, like the comment section, is like the best. Like it is the
But
humanity
it has
on
no
full display.
value.
No, it's no value other than just total just garbage, of people that just, are commenting on what I don't even know. Like, I mean, it's just hilarious. So especially if it's a controversial
it's
article.
like watching UFC fights. It's like you're
Right.
watching social media fights.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm just
People just
it's
juking
a
each other
spectator
out
sport. I
in the
know.
comments. Like,
It's a spectator
okay,
sport, man. Like, I mean, it's yeah, it's a spectator sport, and I definitely, no, you know what? Like, all right, I think my final thoughts on this whole discussion is like, if it's off purpose, stop it. Like, I mean, like, literally, just cut it out of your life if you can, like, the best you possibly can. Like, if it does not bring you value that is aligning toward wherever you want to go in your
well,
life,
that's what I'm saying.
just
This to me
stop it,
is
because
to me it is
otherwise
that
it's taking
you
away
don't
your
have
life.
you don't have to do any of that. The thing is, once you find what you want to do, the other things start to fall off automatically.
Agreed. Yeah.
So that's the thing is, if that's why I noticed that if somebody doesn't have a identity of their own, who they want to be and what kind of person they want to be, then they are consumed by whatever it is convenient, which is social media. If you have, let's say you want to be a different person, like, hey, I want to be a cook, right? Let's say I want to be a cook. So what do you think I'll be watching?
Cooking shows.
Cooking channels, right? And that's good, but I'm not watching all these duking people talking about Kim Kardashians or Aaron Carter. I don't know who these people are. Honestly, I don't. But I'm saying, let's say you want to cook.
You don't know who Nick Carter is? You know who Nick Carter is? The Backstreet Boy, Nick Carter?
No.
You know who the Backstreet Boys are, right?
I heard of them.
Oh God! All right, never mind. Just move on. Move down the road.
I mean, you gotta have to give me something really famous before I know.
Thank God this is not a pop culture podcast with Chris and True, because it would be the worst conversations every night.
Yes, I got nothing to say.
Right.
Who's that?
That would be funny. We should do a spinoff of pop culture with Chris and True, and it's like, what?
I mean, we could do one day, but it's probably going to be short, or it's going to be completely ridiculous, because whatever I say is completely wrong.
What you mean? I know who Britney Spears is. What are you talking about? Yeah, like what?
Well, I know Britney Spears.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I think it's these kind of like Britney Spears. Like, I have no choice but to know. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. She's just that famous, right?
Right.
I mean, not only in the music, but in the media, in the like it was on the local news.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
right. Right. So it's not like you can hide in the middle of nowhere, but you can still get information on her. People will tell you about it. People, your family member will tell you about it. It's like, so it's not like you can escape it. Your sister will tell you about it. Your wife will tell you about it. Your cousin, everybody's telling you about it. Say, okay, what do you want to do about it? It's like, my wife told me about, how she buys her husband or whatever expensive gifts and all this. And well, who the hell is that? And then, they start looking, and then she showed me the videos and blah, blah. But that's the thing is, some people you just cannot avoid just because, it's completely like blanketed you.
Luckily, this is your magical learning. I'm talking about values and purpose, not Chris and True talking about pop culture. I think we'll stick to our lane, But
we stick to things we like to do. It has value for us, and so for me, it's like. But that's what I'm saying is the thing you can do is that as long as you find something that you can anchor to, the other thing that doesn't matter will fall off automatically. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to say, well, I need to wean off this, I want to cut off this or whatever. I think if you do that, you torture yourself. And so similarly, what I have found is that a lot of time when we do these habits, right, we trick ourselves into doing something. If you trick yourself into do something, it doesn't last. You can say, well, I tricked myself into, exercise and eating right. It doesn't last.
Right.
If you can really understand why you're doing it, and you accept and believe it, then it will work. And it worked very, very, a very high probability it will work for you. Right.
Agree.
And I think that's the thing. It's like I say, there are certain things that I'm very good at, and it's so easy for me to do. And there's certain things that I still struggle with, is because I still don't understand completely, or I don't really believe completely. And so I'm still struggling because, if I know that, hey, if you offer me a cup of coffee, right, and you say, hey, there's no harm in it, right? I don't know that, and I don't truly believe that, right? So I believe you. But if I know that for me, it's harmful for me, and I have these, these side effects of having it, then I know, say, regardless of what you say, I'm not going to change my mind. So I will never just drink coffee. But if I don't believe so much of it, and you say, well, just once in a while, it's not going to kill you. They say, yeah, you may be right. So I start doing it, and then next thing you know, you down a bunch of them. Same thing with poker, right? Hey, I'm gonna sit there for 5 minutes and put on this a few games, or I put on $200, and that's all I got. I mean, next thing you know, you're there till 4 a.m.
Yeah, if I'm lucky, if it's only 4 a.m. If that's the case,
Right.
it's probably more like, they're dragging me out at 7 a.m. or something like that when I gotta like go to work at like 9. But yeah, no, I think it's
no, you gotta go work at 9. They drag you out at 9:15.
right, that's true.
This is when you have a real problem.
Exactly. So question we can leave everybody for tonight though is, are you letting others waste your purpose? And if so, what do you want to do about it? And I agree with you, by the way. I think the compound effect of continuing to go down the path of what you like to do and your purpose and values, like naturally starts to, I mean,
because you don't have time for the other stuff. I mean, like I say, if you say, well, I want to do these things in the morning, right? Then it just fills it up. There's nothing else in it. I mean, it's like, well, even if I want to,
I don't have time. I gotta get to work.
I forgot about it, and then and next thing I know, it's like, okay, it's already that's this time and this time, and I have to do this, I have to do that. This is what I have scheduled for.
Right.
Then that's it. I don't have any time for anything else. But if you don't have anything to do, right? Then yeah, you're gonna do that. Let's say I have a garden to take care of. So in the morning, I have to go out there and I gotta water the plants, and I gotta go, shape my bed and my desk, and get my kids to school or whatever. I mean, I don't care if you text me during those times. There's nothing I can do for you because I had my routine. I'm doing it, and until I get to a break where I say, yeah, I have some time, I can do. So those times I can try to answer your texts, your emails, or whatever. And sometimes you don't have that minute because I'm telling you to go take a shower or whatever. Then I don't. And so the thing is, when you do the things that you want to do, and you know what kind of person you want to do, then it's going to occupy your time. Just for example, I love to cook, right? So that means that I'm like looking at like HEB and all these grocery for like weekly ads, and it's okay. I want to make this, and then okay, and then if I want to make that, how can I improve on it? So I probably like go on to some articles about some tricks and trade or whatever, and so you're completely inside of that cooking arena. You're not go out there and say, oh, what the hell is Britney Spears doing today, or whoever Aaron Carter is doing today. I don't fucking care because I'm looking for ingredients for my next creations, right? So if you are a craftsman, let's say, and I also like to do woodworking, right? I have so many of these hobbies that if I have time, I would probably do them. And if I have to without money, I probably just do them. So I probably just go and start to draw some stuff out and go to Home Depot. And I spent hours at Home Depot just looking at stuff. For me, it's like I probably like know Home Depot as if I'm a worker there. I know where things are. If somebody would just stop me and ask me where things are, I'd probably say, hey, it's over there, this there. But I've been there so much, right? That's what I'm saying is when something occupies you, you don't have time for the other stuff. So it just completely naturally falls off.
I mean, I couldn't agree more. I feel like that's a good place to stop if you're cool with it for the night. I need to go. Luca's still recovering from his cold, and I need to go to bed because I feel like shit. So, but we endure, and we do the stuff that we love to do. So, thanks for joining, everyone, and we will see you all tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night. See ya.